Something I always tell someone that wants to learn photography and cinematography is to just take what you have and start shooting. All you really need is a camera and something to shoot. If you're watching this on your phone, you pretty much have the gear that you need. Pick up your phone, open up that camera app, and start shooting. You don't need to have the best and the most glorious, expensive camera in the market to be a good picture taker. But if you do have the budget to buy a fun gadget, then check out your local camera shop or thrift store and buy some used gear. This whole approach is to just get in the habit of using what you already have and start photographing. Look at your daily routine and the stuff you interact with. Like, how can I take my coffee ritual, for example, and shoot it in a bazillion different ways? Or go outside and take in that world around you. You might find some really interesting things to frame. I love street photography for this very reason. It's taking what's normally mundane and overlooked and showing the world how you see it. What's great about this is that you can practice the same approach in 3D. This is what I normally do to practice. If I can't come up with a long scene, but I really just want to get in there and shoot and animate something, I'll just take a simple scene setup and play around in that world. It's fun, it's easy, and there's no pressure. 3D softwares are just like real cameras nowadays, and they're real powerful. We have the well-rounded Blender, the crazy real-time rendering in Unreal, and if you're a student, you can also grab Maya for free. You can learn Blender and apply similar techniques to other pieces of software. I went to school primarily learning Maya, but I can easily hop back and forth between 3D packages because it's all essentially the same, just the buttons are in different spots. So just like with physical cameras, the software isn't really important here. It's your vision. You can build out a very simple set just using assets from places from Quixel Megascans, Kitbash 3D, or Sketchfab. The Epic Marketplace also gives out free assets every single month, and of course Sketchfab has a very large library of free assets as long as you double check the license it comes with if you plan to post your work with those models online. The world is now your oyster, so go out, find and build that set that you find interesting and get it into your software of choice. I'm going to be taking assets from Kitbash 3D and roughly build out a little straight corner in Unreal Engine. From here, take the time to scout out the environment. Take mental note of certain things from the model that interests you. For example, this thing here is pretty interesting and I have a pretty good visual idea of how I want to shoot it. Or this thing is pretty cool, that thing's kind of tight, whatever. This is how shooting things at home can really benefit you. There's some things in your set that you probably wouldn't find interesting and can now be a main focus in your scene. Once you're happy with your set and you've done some light location scouting, create your cameras and start shooting. Get messy, get crazy, get wild. This is your scene to get comfortable using a virtual camera. Get a little crazy and change up your focal lengths. If you're using Unreal Engine, you can select the camera and find those settings over here. If you're using Blender, select the camera and you'll find those settings there. And if you're Maya, you can select the camera and you'll find those settings here in the channel box, or if you click on the attribute editor, you'll also find them here as well. Experiment with a multitude of angles, high angles, low angles, Dutch angles, you name it. You can also use this scene to try out some camera movements like a simple dolly setup. Key the beginning of your timeline, head towards the end of it, and move the camera in whatever direction you want to. If you really enjoy paint and you don't have auto key on already, make sure you have the key at the end, but please turn on auto key. Then select that curve and change that curve to linear, and now you have a fun little dolly shot. Or just say screw it and just try keeping the camera in place and maybe add a little bit of camera shake for some realism. Treat this practice as if you're holding a real camera. Look around and start framing your surroundings. Observation is a really good friend to have. This is your opportunity to learn while doing, so there's just really no place to fail because the scene is just for you. It's just practice. If you want to keep refining your eye, here's some resources that's helped and inspired me over the years. Like this video essay from the Royal Ocean Film Society about quiet cinematography. I love the cinematography in Ozu films, so I always gotta make sure I plug in his work. Valandis is also a great filmmaking YouTuber that covers topics like these as well. But also, don't be afraid to learn from yourself too. Think about your likes and your dislikes. What styles stand out to you more than others? Your taste is an underrated motivator. If you like something, study it. At the end of the day, just have fun. Experiment with new ideas. Let yourself be uncomfortable in framing things you've never shot before. This practice is meant as an opportunity for you to tap into that cinematic eye of yours without the pressure of making something big with a really tight deadline. So what are you waiting for? Go film something. I'm expecting an hour-and-a-half animated short film in a DVD format on my desk by Monday, so get to work.